I said, what's the GMS Israelites' take on the lake of fire in the book of Revelation? Short answer. The GMS Great Millstone Hebrew Israelite group teaches that the lake of fire in Revelation is not a literal place of eternal torment, but a symbolic description of the nuclear destruction of America, Babylon the Great, at the end of this age. When the apostles came to the Messiah privately, saying, when it shall be the end of the world, the word there was from the Greek eon, which was a certain time of rulership. Like the Neo-Babylonian Empire's rulership was 70 years. That was their age. The Roman Empire, when Esau ruled, that was about 150 years. That was their age. So we're in the continuing age of the Roman Empire, which is America, which when you look up the average lifespan of an empire, they say 250 years. We're a couple of months shy from 250 years. The age of America. And Nero Redivivos, look that up, Nero and Redivivos. He's going to have a big celebration commemorating the greatness of America, because he wants to make America great again. Anyway, let's read on. GMS doctrine on the lake of fire. The lake of fire equals nuclear destruction of America. GMS teaches that America is Babylon the Great in the book of Revelation. At the end of Esau's rulership, America will be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, especially during World War III. When the missiles fall, the continent will be turned into a giant sea of fire. We go to Revelation 15. Below us we're going to be above the sea of glass. The sea of glass on fire is talking about looking down at the heavens. This is what Revelation calls the lake of fire. They support this teaching with scriptures like Revelation 18, destruction of Babylon by fire. 2 Peter 3 verse 10, the elements melting with fervent heat. Isaiah 34, Isaiah 13. You can put in Isaiah 14. Nuclear destruction imagery. So for GMS, the lake of fire is prophetic imagery of a real world event, not a spiritual afterlife realm. Right, there's no such thing as hell. It is not an eternal hell, GMS rejects the idea of an eternal torment hell, teaching instead the lake of fire is a temporary event, the destruction of Babylon, aka the U.S. After the fire, the land will be left uninhabitable and desolate. They believe the Bible never teaches eternal damnation for souls, only judgment on nations or individuals in this life. And that's true, because there's not one description in the Old Testament. Not one description in the Old Testament. You got 66 books in the Bible. There's not one scripture in the Old Testament that describes what this place, hell, is like. Matter of fact, it doesn't even mention lake of fire in the Old Testament. You got 66 books in the Old and New Testament. And I believe it's, how does it work out, 39 Old Testament and 27 New Testament? Somebody help me out. 3, souls are not burning forever. GMS teaches wicked Israelites will die in the nuclear destruction, but will be reborn in the kingdom through reincarnation, a teaching GMS strongly emphasizes, because reincarnation is a biblical concept. There's all kind of examples of reincarnation in the Bible, in the scriptures. This is all basic. All these You know, all these questions they ask is always basic stuff. The heathen nations will survive outside America. Well, the ones that are in America will die here. They're going to burn up. They'll be the fuel to the fire. And later be forced into slavery in the kingdom. So the lake of fire is not a spiritual afterlife punishment, but a physical judgment event in the last days. Absolutely. Why it's called a lake? GMS explains that when the nuclear missiles hit, fire will cover the land like a sea. Right, a sea is just a bigger lake. It's a big body of water. As a river is a flowing, it's linear, right? Smoke will rise for a long time. Revelation 19 verse 3. Thus, lake of fire is a metaphor describing the appearance of America engulfed in flames. Or where's that? The woman being on fire. I can't. It's in Revelation. Well, it's in Daniel 7. If you want, I can also explain how GMS differs from IUIC. Let me do this. And I don't even know if they updated it. On this topic. Let's hope it's not too long. I don't want to. Here's a clear, accurate breakdown of GMS and IUIC different in their teachings about the lake of fire and Revelation. These two camps interpret the lake of fire very differently, even though both reject the Christian doctrine of eternal hell. No, they accept the Christian doctrine. GMS versus IUIC on the lake of fire. What the lake of fire is. GMS teaches the lake of fire is nuclear destruction of America, Babylon, World War III. Multiple ICBM missiles will turn the landmass into a giant sea of fire. It's a physical event, not an afterlife realm. IUIC teaches the lake of fire is a metaphor for ultimate judgment and destruction, but not specifically one single geographical place. IUIC tends to emphasize spiritual judgment rather than identifying the lake of fire strictly as America burning. They did used to teach that at one time. They show you that the Spirit's not dealing with the IUIC. Let me read that again. IUIC tends to emphasize spiritual judgment rather than identifying the lake of fire strictly as America burning. Some IUIC teachers, all of them, describe it as the final destruction of the wicked after Christ, the Messiah, returns, but not tied exclusively to a single nuclear event. So they completely changed it. The scripture said, meddle not with them that are given a change. Difference. GMS is very literal and specific. America equals lake of fire via nukes. IUIC is more symbolic. Lake of fire equals final destruction, judgment, not necessarily nuclear America. Not necessarily nuclear America. It's a typo. So they changed that 3.5 ago. So the leader, there's only one leader and the rest of them are followers. Only one leader and the rest of them are followers. Relationship to hell, GMS rejects the concept of hell entirely. Lake of fire equals nuclear missiles, nothing to do with the spiritual world. IUIC also rejects Christian hell doctrine. No, they teach the same doctrine. Lake of fire, final death, but more tied to the idea of a second death, not specifically ICBMs. Differences. GMS links Revelation prophecies directly to modern missiles. IUIC keeps the language more biblical and allegorical. Like I said, remind you that they used to teach that the lake of fire was America on fire. So they're they're the 5 virgins that were foolish, that didn't take extra oil in their lamps, for their lamps. Location of Lake of Fire, GMS, a physical place, America after the nukes hit. IUIC, not a specific physical location, more of a state of destruction or final judgment event. Difference for GMS, the Lake of Fire, geographically the United States. For IUIC, it is not pinned to a specific country. Now they're saying all the countries are gonna I did a video that's on the shelf. I got to put it up. I did it yesterday morning. I didn't put it up. I think I got 2 videos on it. Matter of fact, 3 videos on this. A couple of videos on the shelf. Anyway, they were down there. Yawasop was down there in Trinidad. This was 8-9 years ago. And one of them said that when judgment comes, that Trinidad is going to be burnt up. And Bishop Nate said more than once, this is maybe 2-3 years ago, he said, you think you're going to escape to Jamaica or France or whatever? He said, everything's going to be burnt up. He said, all those islands are going to be burnt up. The places that's going to be burnt up is the Levant and this place called America, the United States. So here he is going off again. And that's something that he didn't teach in the past. That's something that the 7 never taught. They said the Lake of Fire is WW3's nuclear aftermath. IUIC believes in end-time conflict, but does not focus on nuclear destruction as the identity of the Lake of Fire, which one time they did teach that. That's why I use this statement: use your head for something other than the hat rack. And the masses of the IUIC members use their head for a hat rack. Differences: GMS nukes equal Lake of Fire. IUIC Lake of Fire, final divine punishment, not necessarily nukes. Reincarnation, how Israelites experience the Lake of Fire. GMS, wicked Israelites will die in America's nuclear fire, but will be reborn in the kingdom. Reincarnation doctrine. IUIC rejects reincarnation. No, they believe in. I still believe they think that they still teach reincarnation. They teach the same thing we teach as far as reincarnation, or the topic of reincarnation is concerned, the way GMS teaches it. So the second death is final for the wicked in there. Right, well, yeah, right. Because they're saying you're reincarnated, but then when you go to hell, you're not going to come back no more. So you're not going to experience reincarnation, because you're going to just stay in hell forever. You're going to be there for 1 trillion years and still be engulfed in flames. Can you imagine that? And the Most High is a merciful power. All you got to do is read Psalms, or do a word search on mercy, or read Psalms 136. It's like every other verse. It says that every verse, for his mercy endure forever. For his mercy endure forever. He's going to have mercy on the nations, not like Israel. GMS says wicked Israelites die in nukes, but come back. IUIC says the second death is actual final destruction. No more reincarnation for you. So if your grandmama died, she go to hell, she gonna burn forever. And there's a scripture, and I'm not gonna bring it up. There's a scripture that says every Sabbath and every high holy day, mainly on the Sabbath, you gotta visit your family and you gotta see them being burnt. That's every Sabbath. Okay, the Sabbath come in, okay, let's go see grandma. There go grandma rocking in the rocking chair, burning in hell, screaming and yelling. And grandma, be all right, hold on. Next week you got to come out there. So if they're teaching that, they're using Luke 16. That golf for that, this almost like a fireproof plexiglass, and you're going to see them burn, and you're going to have to go visit them. You got to visit them in hell. Literal or symbolic, very, very literal. Nukes America connection to hell, no hell, lake of fire equals nukes. IUIC stance, no Christian hell, lake of fire, final destruction. No, they do teach a Christian hell. Location America. Location not tied to a single location. So they're saying the whole earth is going to be set on fire. And Nate has said that. I heard him say it. Reincarnation, yes. Israelites return after destruction. IUIC, no. Final death is final. So if we don't make a GMS, we all going to be burning in hell. And then it'll be a purple and gold kingdom. You have a prince in the kingdom singing diamonds and pearls over and over again. Him coming down the stairs with that guitar. Are you gonna keep singing that nigga? Cause you got the purple too. You gotta have a little fun with this, right? Or you go crazy.